Okay, in our last executive meeting, so I was appointed as fundraiser for the physique, um, and this is my job, and I offered myself to just be co-chairing this meeting. So thank you for having this, uh, having this opportunity to co-chair here the meeting. Welcome everyone.
Thank you.
So some of you I know, and some of you I don't know. So and I'm a Kiki. Hello. So now I follow up with the who is next. Crystal, I need you to
Okay,
tell
sure.
me what.
I think Stefan will be our next teacher,
Okay,
presenter.
Stefan. So now is your turn. Is there anything that you want to share with us?
Yes, well, I have good news. I have, well,
Oh,
actually, so
hold on, Stefan. Mike is with us. Hey, welcome, Mike. It's so good to see you back. Hey, bro. Oh,
Yes.
you for choosing to be with us. And Dee, welcome, Dee. Oh, so good to
Hey, how
see
you
you.
doing today?
And Christian, yeah, doing fine. Good to see you. All the better that you're here. Right. Welcome.
Yeah.
I finally figured out the London time thing. That took me a while.
Oh, Kiki, we have Mike here as well. So once Stefan has
Yes. Hello, Mike. How are
presentation,
you,
I want
Mike?
to hear from Mike what Mike has to share with us. It will be so exciting. Thank you.
I am well, actually. Thank you, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Are
want to
you?
make sure the microphone is working right here. Yeah,
We
I was
are
doing
ready.
fine. We're normal people going through normal things in our lives. We're trying to understand all of the emotions and everything. Um, I had to step away from Facebook and the world pretty much for 30 days, give myself a barrier instead of going up in the Tibetan mountains and burying myself in a cave. I went to a friend's house and you know detoxed and had plenty of quiet time. I had plenty of time to meditate and relate with the emotions that I was going through so rapidly. Um, I'm not sure how spiritual your group is, but the 8-8 Lions Gate was very important um, for my spiritual growth, as well as the planets. And I was on Mount Shasta in a smaller replica of the Giza Pyramid that was on Mount Shasta, and had quite a few revelations of myself while I was inside of this pyramid and with two of my guides. And the spiritual awakening began there. And from that day forward, every day was following a coincidence, following that first thought that came to mind for the next, 2 weeks, the next week really. And then a decision had to be made whether I was going to go home or commit time to work with a new business partner, and so I had to be the change that I wanted to see, which means that I broke up my monotony, and it ended up breaking my wife's heart, and I had to come back and fix it and help it and teach her how to fall in love with me again. So for me now, the Infinity Project is turning into how to get my wife to fall back in love with me and save the world, or help the world save itself at the same time, so I can make everybody happy. Um, it seems to be what I want. I just want to see people happy. So, if I can do that, then I will. But during that process, we made a device on my truck. I got a sponsor, and she purchased a 2006 Chevy Silverado 2500 push button, 4-wheel drive, the works, everything, kind of pickup truck, as an emergency response vehicle for here in America. And we've equipped it with some plasma devices. And on my journey back from California, my miles per gallon meter, was reading at 99.9 miles per gallon. So I know I've, jumped into the system there. And we're about to hold on some serious online collaborations. So it's nice to see, Stephen and Faz and Dee and all of you guys, Kiki, everybody here that's in the plasma world. I'd like to bring you all together and help me design this truck. And there's another vehicle that's in Montana with Whitney and Carrie that we want to turn completely plasmatic. Okay? No more running off of fuel whatsoever. And we're going to make a slow journey from Montana down to the burial grounds, and from Texas to the burial grounds where the tribes are fighting against what's been dubbed as the Black Snake. And I need you guys' help because I can't make this, guys. I can't make it for you, okay? I can only give you the tools to piece it together. And now I've got the base of what everybody is using, okay? And it's all loaded and put on my truck, okay? And it's ready to go. It needs to be a world collaboration, okay? And this is your peace reactor. And if you follow like the Hopi prophecies and things like that, the device that I have in my truck and the device that Whitney has can be dubbed as the two comets, the twin comets, because they're both the same polarity. Okay? They're both red polarities. They're vacuums for energy. Okay? When we turn them plasmatic, they become blue. And so now you've got the two devices that are going to come together in the center at the tribe. All right? And it's going to create infinity. And in the center of that infinity, the red kachina is going to be formed. And there is a national media outlet there. Okay? And remember, this is plasmatic. It's light. And so we send out our light codes through this device because it's going to be a collaboration. Okay? My truck's the amplifier. It's like putting up 50,000 Giza pyramids, guys. Okay? This is the purifier, and this is what we're going to build. You're tired of the bullshit. This is where I need your help. All right? Meditation has been very clear, very concise, but I cannot build this for you. I can do it while you're talking to me and telling me to do it as we're going, but I cannot build it for you. That affects free will. And I need really smart people who believe in the same thing I do, believe in world peace and freedom, okay? I need you guys' help to gather here, and that's kind of like why I've made my appearance on your show, Crystal. I really appreciate it. Things are really busy for me mentally. I drove 40 hours in 2 days to be back with my wife. I honestly feel like timelines were changed and jumped. I know that there was 5 very distinct flashes inside of my truck while I was driving during those 40 hours. The entity that is in there, his name's Charlie. And I've been told that he's gonna be working with Charlie's Angels, so this is pretty cool. I like the sound of it. Rolls off the tongue. But when we bring these devices together, we're gonna have a peace ceremony with the tribal elders, and we're gonna activate the Rainbow Warriors, and pull them all together, all the light workers, everybody. We're gonna create a magnet of love and a magnet of energy that's going to attract everybody. and it's just been a very busy 30 days. A lot of people have been dropping some emotions that, you know, you wouldn't normally think of. Cutting off old contracts and belief systems, you know, all that kind of stuff. And if you guys have any questions, you please ask me. You know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, Mike, we are so honored with your presence, Mike, and it's so wonderful to have you back, bro. I mean, you bring so much radiance and light and love to all. And we're so touched with what you do and what you say and how you teach and guide us.
Your guys' auras and energy are so intense. I love you guys. You know,
We love you too.
Haven't talked to you guys much, but everybody, we know that, you know, we're all connected by soul, and we're all connected as one. Just bear with me. I'm trying to explain to you everything that I can see in my mind's eye to you guys, and I try to explain it in the simplest terms possible. We just made a video yesterday of my wife and I, and it's kind of like her plea for help. I need help to, you know, maintain this man, but I know what he's saying is truth, but the world can't handle me all at once.
I saw the video, Mike. It's so beautiful. It really touched my heart. Your beautiful wife is such a twin flame of yours. Oh, we love her too. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys' work and your support and your words. It means a lot, because when I was in California, I was called all sorts of names. You know, I was darkness wrapped in light. I was, you know, angels. I was the devil. I was everything, you know. And when I told, you know, my wife that, she looked at me, she said, that's because you're a mirror. You reflect back everything that comes to you, and you give it back to them, and they don't like it. They don't like to see what you're giving back, and they will lash out at you. And that's why I have to be invited to come speak and come talk, and you have to ask questions. Because if I just offer information or I tell you something, it'll be violently rejected. You know, and it can be kind of hard for a lot of people.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. I just want to make reference to the point that it is fantastic, it's amazing, the new age where we all together, we can really think about and genuinely, like Mike, create this sort of energy. But, you know, something that goes beyond all these devices and all this energy is good heart. It's amazing. I think we are joining here because of our good heart, for the sake of the people, of the humanity, you know. Because when we are like 1 month old or 2 months old, we don't have devices. What we can express is good heart. And mother, what is given to the child is good heart. So this is our base for communication and sharing. And all of us here, I think we have quite a good heart, which is the really base. You know, I love you, Mike, because you really touch my heart. You really make me vibrate with your, you know, the way you want to share with humanity. Also, Mr. Cash, you know, the way I vibrate with him a lot, and anyone that is really wanting to share and to do this work, a perfect work or divine work or whatever we want to call it, for the humanity, to free people, you know, that's amazing. So we are very, very fortunate to share here whatever time, you know, with people that we are engaged in the same thing, you know, to free people, to make them happy, really from the heart. And we give a lot of time and love, and this is amazing. This is incredible. So now, Frat, I want to, no, Frat, sorry, it's
Nothing.
we were with Stefan. Stefan, are you there? It's your turn. It's not anymore there.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you were sharing something with us, and then Mike popped up, and it was amazing what he has shared. I hope we have time to hear more on that.
Yes.
And Stefan, so please can you follow up with your sharing today?
Yes,
and
yes.
Your good heart?
Yeah, I don't know if I showed this little pack to you, a 36-pack style that I made out of different Ganses. There's a lot of also gold Gans in this one. So I've been testing it out right now. Connection is good. I've been lighting up a LED light, but it's supposed to be lit up, but right now my wire's off. Well, it's been on for 4 days, and I haven't lost any voltage. So it's not very bright though, but at least it's showing me. It's one of those days. Anyways, it's because I'm playing with it and I unsoldered the wire. Now it's not even lighting up for a reason or another. Okay, that surprises me. But it wasn't on for 4 days. And now I'm going to build just more of them. It's a question of building them smaller. And my voltage is quite the same, but it's not actually acting like a regular cell would. If I unhook it, well, right now it's not lit up, but it's supposed to give me around 5 volts. Originally gave me like 4.13, and by hooking it on my 12 volt, it went up to 5 volts. So now it's restabilizing because the light is off, so it's slowly going back up. It's at 4.65. If I just press on hold here, you should see it. And when I put a load on it, which this light is supposed to be 5.2 volts, it drops 2.5 volts and it stays at 2.46 or between 2.46 and 2.47. So, and right now it's at 4.85, 86. It's going back up to 5 volts. So I'm not losing any energy. When I did these tests before with other Ganses, which did not include gold Gans, I drained it. I had drained the systems. And right now, well, it's sustaining it. And it might be also because I plugged it in groups of 4, which gives me more amperage, which balances the system out and makes it able to do what it's doing right now. So now it's at 4.98, 4.99, and it's still going back up. Back down there, but if I light up the light, like if I get it to light up, I'm not sure why it's not lighting up now. There we go. Now it's lit up. It's going to go down, not lower than 2.46. And I got to keep it lit up here. Try not to move. I have to like get a good Tai Chi posture. Relax. And I'm not sure what voltage are you seeing? What? I'm not seeing it right now. 2.466. It's been like this for 4 days. So that tells me that it's just a question of making like smaller. Eventually I'll go nano. That's why I bought a 3D printer. But, you know, we got to start from somewhere. So I did this 36-pack. I could have done it smaller because I've done it before. I could have done it in little containers this big. The idea would be to make a lot. So I got to make a container that has all these separations where I could place my wires into it and make like, I got 1024 in mine. 512, 256, 512, 1004, etc. I've had this in mind for a long time. It was difficult before because you had to roll them by hand, but just having them in little containers makes it so much easier. So the way to go is the same way that we're building 12-volt batteries right now. It's by I think there's like 64 different divisions in the battery, even more. I'm not too sure, but I want to go with 1024 in this case to have the more natural system sustain itself. But it will always be that you will have to adapt to the system, not try to have the system adapt to what you're already using as electricity, because we're already overusing it. We're already not efficient. I'm going to heater inductors, and for me, seems to be like a very efficient way to create the sun inside of a coil, which we're all looking for.
Stefan, there are new participants here, and they want to know exactly what you are talking about because they missed some of the and perhaps yeah, go ahead and just can you centralize and
Yes. So talking about the cells and just what it is just GANs and coils and separations, not very difficult to make. The basic models are not. The advanced models are quite difficult to make because you got, in this system, you got an infinite amount of divisions you can make, which will give you amperage if you do that on all of them. So if you divide in 2, you already got twice the amperage. You divide it in 4, and if you're doing the right thing, then what you could do is quite advanced because you end up, just thinking about it. I know that
Fibonacci number sequence.
Yes, of course. Always by using the
Always the +1, okay? Because the Fibonacci is always off balance. And if you get an off balance, then it will always push out and give you extra plasma.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, keep the ball turning.
If it's balanced, then the cup is full, okay? And it's not overflowing, but it's also not going anywhere. It's balanced.
There's always divisions with different types of ganses with different potentials. So there's always an interaction going on. You can't even if you do a mistake, there's still an interaction that will be going on.
Yep. But if you're trying to do deliberate numbers, use the Fibonacci number deliberately, and you'll see a lot more power output for what you're looking for.
Productivity.
The 9. Well, you know that we've had the lesson through the 9. I also go through the Fibonacci, but I try to stay the same numbers that correspond also to the 9 in the Fibonacci sequence. So in this particular case, there are 18 turns coils. So it's based on the number 9, which will give the same type of
balance.
Yeah. So, or balance or whatever you can call it, off balance. In the long run, everything balances itself out. So, where was I? So, by creating many divisions with many types of ganses and placing your wire, you get your amperage, and just by building many of them, then you get your voltage. And it's a question of having a good structure and just building it. By hand, it's always more difficult to build than when you have already a design pretty much planned out for the manufacturing. It's the same thing, okay? It's the same thing as we do regular batteries, except now we're using zinc, copper, no gold, silver. We know the interactions between the metals, and we know the interaction between the ganses and different nanostates, or learning, or know that we got to learn it. Either way, our knowledge is just the fact that we're conscious, that all the elements can be brought into a nanostate, and it changes the properties of all the elements, which, it opens up a new door to a completely other reality.
Stefan, thank you very much for sharing. Do you have anything else to share? We are running out of time. We have other participants that we have
to be honest with you, I have many other things to share.
Okay, so
I mean, you're asking me a question. Yes, I mean,
is there any question for Stefan, guys?
I've made GANs without any battery in this setup. It's the second time I've made it. My idea was to transfer the gold GANs, which is this GANs right here. Well, it's a gold GANs. Figure of speech. It's made with 14 karat gold and carbon, so it's really not pure, but it should have those elements that I'm looking for. And as weird as this looks, I've made GANs through this procedure, and it actually made about twice as less in about 12 hours. I was quite surprised because that was really fast. And it still seems to be making some, but not quite as much. We noticed that on the bowl, on this side, there's more like particles on the glass than on the other sides. And quite interesting is usually these bowls also, you see the lines going up of the fields pushing the GANs up towards the bowl. The gold was doing that also. Now, this one wasn't doing it, but since I put the coil in it, you see I'm seeing right now today these lines, which tells me that the coil is pushing the GANs up in filaments type. So it's not much, but it's quite interesting. And yeah, I'm working on that. So there would be like, theoretically, I can make like many balls to do tests of it, but test after test after test. I'd rather do them all in one shot.
Okay, very good.
Okay, yeah, that's about it.
So thank you. Thank you very much, Stefan. And I want to welcome to Kerry Kirster and Whitney. So welcome.
Thank you. And thank you very much. What you said before, so very beautiful. Well said.
All right, so we go for the next step. So we are going to invite Kerry Kirster and Whitney to share with us their experience. Hello?
Hello, this is Whitney. Hold on.
Oh, hello, Whitney. Welcome. How are you?
There we go. Oh, okay. I got to get the phone. There we go. Oh, there's my computer.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
So good morning.
There's
good morning, Whitney. Welcome home. So good to hear about your class. Wow, tell us about it. Thanks.
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. It's been a lot of coordinating and driving and time, but Carrie has gotten here this last week, and Carolyn DeAngelis last week. So Carolyn and I did a Peace Festival, which was absolutely fantastic. Everyone that came to the booth was very interested, and we were able to give them a good overview of a whole bunch of different aspects of the technology. And then Carrie and I drove to Idaho, which is about 3.5 hours the next day, and had a workshop in Idaho with about 15 people, which we're going back this weekend to show them car units and MAGRAV. So it's really going really well. It's just exploding. It feels like there's not enough time to set up enough things to do right now. So we're all in the same coffee shop. I just want you to know. Okay. Oh, okay. So can you see, there's Carolyn?
Yes. Hi, Carolyn.
And Carrie in the background, if you can see her wave.
Carrie.
So we're all on separately in the same place. And just really excited. It's just the forward movement and the feeling is mounting and mounting and mounting. And just the need to get this out and do as many workshops as possible feels like it's, it just feels really good what's going on. So
Well done.
did anybody have any
So,
Good to
Mike,
see you.
I have a question, Kiki. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Mike was lovingly putting in the chat room saying that Whitney and Carrie were traveling fuelless. I mean, it's just powered by plasma energy. Wow, we want to hear more about that. Mike,
No, not yet, but we will be.
Yes, it's coming there. So we're working on getting the power units for the vehicles made this week, and we're going to get in touch with Mike and have a conversation on how he's progressed on his unit. There's also a gal that went and built some units with the MIP Peru group, and she's just reporting that she's went in within a month down to up to 55 miles per gallon with just 2 simple sets of Magra coils and the gravitational hook to probably the negative on one coil set, and then the magnetical of another coil set hooked to the positive. So they're really simple units too. We're just excited to get about everything built as possible right now.
Yes. You guys have access to resin?
Do we have? Yes, we have
You
a little
do?
bit of resin.
For like orgonite?
Yes,
All right, because that's the main ingredient in my reactor in my truck.
it's the ingredient in the reactor. Can you explain that a little?
The ingredient, everything that you put in your reactor is an ingredient. Okay? When you use orgonite, I've got sphere. I have a sphere within a sphere. Somebody's talking. It's an orgonite reactor, and inside of that reactor, I have a sphere that's within a sphere. Okay, the central sphere has caustic in it and a drop of my blood, and then it's got CO2 around that. Okay, and then I put that inside, and I cut up some fruit, and I stuck it inside of the orgonite. Okay, to use the natural energy of the fruit, and I used some coils that were wrapped around the sphere itself, and then I put the resin around it. Okay, what the resin did was it created a vacuum environment after it hardens. Okay. It creates a vacuum environment which allows that water to expand inside just enough, okay, to create a barrier, just like with quartz. Because we're using GANS water, that is, it's like using a liquid crystal or a liquid quartz. And so when I used the CO2 water that I had, I'd already had quartz crystals in it. So it was, the energy of quartz. It's been pretty active with it, so I think resin is going to be one way to get your solid core reactors, even using liquid without having to spin. But that's pretty advanced for mine, okay, for what you guys have got, and you're already receiving the fuel mileage. I don't see much else. If you can get a ping pong ball or something to fit inside of your reactor, and then surround it with the resin, you guys are going to be in top shape. Okay, put your GANS water, your neutrino water, whatever you want to call it. Put that inside of your ping pong balls and put it inside of resin. Put your infinity loop inside of that. Put your intent, seal it, set it in stone, and you've got yourself a very, very powerful plasma reactor. Remember to put, just either a drop of your blood or a piece of your hair or spit in it, do something so that it's connected to your body. So if you decide it needs to fly at some point, you have a means to control this. Okay? Remember, your DNA is the radio transceivers and the receivers for these signals to go back and forth between these devices. Okay.
So, Mike, on that, do you think that multiple people could put something inside, or just one per, like for Carrie's vehicle, it would be her DNA?
It takes 2 to tango. I can't tell you anything else other than that. It takes 2 to tango. Okay? I know you can hear my brain right now, okay?
Mike, can you go over the outer part with the resin again, so it gets in my head a little bit? I know Whitney's taking notes, but I'm trying to understand it. So,
If you know anything about orgonite,
I have made orgonite.
okay, that's all I did. I'd never made it before. I did it with Dawn, and we practiced using some of the stuff that we could get at like the hobby store. Okay, pretty.
So in orgonite, you usually put metal pieces in. Okay.
The only thing that I'm looking for here is the resin itself. Okay, that's the only thing I'm looking for. You can mix other things like dried GANs powder, neutrinos, whatever, into that resin while it hardens. Okay, and you're going to create a whole bunch of nanosphere structures that are completely sealed. Okay, that's going to give you the most power out of all of this. All right, when the resin sets, it heats. Okay, which causes the liquid to expand that's inside of it, and then it hardens. Okay, so now you've got an expanded air bubble that is trapped inside of the resin. Okay, well, that's the expansion. That's the creation of a vacuum inside. Okay, that's kind of like a drinking straw. You know, when you take a drink out of a straw, you're reducing the air pressure inside of the straw, allowing the water to rise. Okay, so you're doing the same thing with your orgonite devices. Okay, so if you can put multiple layers inside of that resin, okay, and get it right so that it's completely hardened, you should be able to get that ball to, one, collapse down because it's cold to start, and then the resin heats up around it, which causes it to expand, right? And then the resin is solid, and it starts to cool down. And as resin cools down, it begins to create a smaller suction, which allows it to collapse down on itself, okay, and then expand outwards. I haven't gotten down to the expand outwards yet because I don't have a tank, as I call it, big enough to hold the plasma needed to expand. Okay, so I need to collaborate with people to make a bigger holding tank or plasma capacitor or battery, guys. Okay, let your brains wander. I need to.
Zoom must have ended between others. I think they muted me. Yeah, so I think they have to send us a new.
Caroline, sorry, Kiki, I have to interject because we lost you because you were muted. Would you want to repeat what you're saying?
I was just commenting there that the screen froze, so I thought that they were going to start a new Zoom session. So sorry, I thought I was muted by you or I wouldn't have spoken out loud. So sorry.
Okay. No. It was accidentally muted, I think.
Oh, okay. I see.
There's music in the background.
Yeah, no, I got what Mike said, what my answer I did get. So I was just kind of affirming, you know, with a yes or no. We're good.
Over to the chair. The chair was muted as well. Oh, gosh. Kiki is the chair for the second half of the meeting.
Yes. No problem. No problem. Go ahead. Now it's again muted. Oh, it's me.
Kiki, over to you, the chair.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Kiki. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, is there any question from anyone? No? Okay. Anyone wants to share anything at all? Anything else?
I won't let you guys hold it like that. So, hot. What we got here? Wands. We got wands. I started with a big one. Let's start with the small one because sometimes they are the strongest. This little model, I don't think many people have seen. There's a ping pong ball in this. There's 2 coils, 1 aluminum, 1 copper, inside the ball. They're connected to 2 coils. There's an interior one. Let's see here. Well, it's actually 2 coils. Actually, this one is a rod in the center and just a coil on the exterior. So it's the simplest model. I made this a few months back. Let's say it's more reliable. Let's say that it gives you more potential. You don't have to be as close to the body. You could work at different distances for different effects. So it will work on let's say about 1.5 feet to about 8 inches. 8 inches would be like a place where you want to work with this pen. So it gives you more distance. It gives you more flexibility, more natural.
Stefan, which experiences have you had on this with people?
Well, let's say not many people have tested it, but I'm pretty sensitive with the energies. And when I compare, so for example, these two, this one and this one, well, this one is more powerful. This one I could feel it easier. This one feels more natural in a way. In a way, I feel it works more like on the emotional body and on the etheric and on the spiritual. This one is a more physical. This is very physical. This touches you physically. This, you feel it, but you feel more because it's so nice. It's so beautiful. It's the 3 ganses. So the color there we go. So we got CO, CO2, and CH3. And there might be a mix of Shungite GANs that I've done also. We'll talk about that later. Crystal GANs that I've made and stuff like that. This one here is it would have been more powerful on the tip if I wanted to. Because just a copper pipe on itself, nano-coated, will give off a pretty strong feel on the tip of it. Trust me, it'll be like 10 times the strength of a pen. So you feel it. And it's a bit too strong. It's the type of effect that you don't feel too comfortable in front. You know, you put your hand, you feel it, and you're like, oh, I don't want to leave it there. So, but what I've done with this one is filled with GANs, because originally I made a capacitor with it. So it was filled with GANs. So there's a lot of GANs in this one. And for the missing spots, after a while, I put salt, sea salt, and on the tip, I put crystal quartz, and I surrounded it with zinc. On each tip, I put 144 turns coils, 2 of them in a snake pattern around it. I GANs them with 2 different GANs or 3 different GANs. I always got GANs laying around, so I play around with mixes, you know. So I don't always remember exactly the mix I've done. Now I'm refining a bit myself on that, but I always go with the flow. So this one has its own flow, and that's what's fun also about working with GANs is you go with what you feel and you go with destiny, what it gives you, and you end up most likely having what we need to have. So yeah, I wanted to share that. Thank you for letting me.
Thank you very much, Stefan.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Anyone
sorry,
wants to share anything else?
Mr. Chairman, can I say something? Mike, are you there? I saw a message saying that you got internet problems. I just want to thank you for appearing here today. So you are going through a lot, but you made it a point to come and join us. Thank you so much for sharing all that you do. Thank you. Thanks, Stefan. Carry on. Sorry. Go on then, Stefan.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Did anybody make pens in the panel? Does anyone have a pen?
Yeah, you know something, Stefan, is something very weird. But when you point at the device to the camera, I felt the energy. Can you imagine? I don't know if it is my feeling or will be some sort of connection. Can you do it with the other devices? I want to see. I mean, the first one I felt something, and now I want to see if I can feel something with the other one.
You mean like this?
Yeah, just a little bit upper. Yeah, correct. Now the first one.
This one?
Yeah, this I can feel. The other one I can't feel. I cannot feel. The other one I cannot feel. This I can feel.
This one, yes, this one is quite remarkable. This is the future.
Okay. And can you do it with the third one?
This is Noah. So now the world will be
yeah, this I can feel as well.
Yes.
The second one I cannot feel, but this one I can feel, and the first one I can feel as well.
Well, I hope you feel the energy I feel when I meditate. I wish everybody in the world feels that energy.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, I want to interject here, Kiki, if you let me. Everyone, I just want you to know that Kiki is a talented intuitive, and he can feel energy even just by looking at it from a distance. In fact, he was the second person to have a talking Margaret proposal. That was way back in February, just for your information, in case you're wondering what's happening now. Thank you.
So anyone want to share something else?
I was going to, this is Raz here.
Raz, hello.
I was going to ask a question, Stefan.
Yes.
Basically, when we work with the different size healing pens and wands and stuff, this one's copper with a piece of quartz in the bottom. You take a look at the size. Now, the one that you have that's the smallest one, you say your most powerful one, we have built, the one in the middle, that one. Yeah, that one there. We built one early on in January, and what we found was when they held it to the spine and had the person move, and about, well, maybe 6 inches away from it, the vertebrae actually move back into place. It's that powerful.
Wow.
The larger ones, which says that's their physicality, and I agree with you on what your interpretation of that is. Your larger ones, you're dealing with a different frequency. It's very similar to different size antennas, transmitting antennas, etc. So size makes a difference, and it doesn't always make it more powerful. It has to do with frequency. I'll back out and let you talk.
Beautiful. Well said. Thank you for adding that. Beautiful. Yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, when I look at this one, what I see, you know, is the option of putting other balls that are actually more voltage, more potential on it. So just hooking them up, click, 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 turning and screwing them on. And I see also 2 wires coming out, plugged into the cells that we have here. And deciding, you know, which one you want, which one you don't want, making a little circuit board, dividing organzas, and then choosing, you know, let's put the energy, direct the energy of the CO2. We just tap into the CO2's direct energy we want. We accumulate the amperage we want, the voltage we want. So if I can get this Arduino going, which is a bit more difficult than I thought, and I'm doing a few things at the same time. But if I could get that thing going, then I would get the control panel going on the health systems and the levitation system. You know, and I know that we'll be having to work on much more stronger energy fields than we are at the moment to create what we want, the way that we're going to create it, not the way that others pretend that we should, like, interact spiritually and become at the level of the plasma and forget our bodies and stuff like that, in the sense that there's many ways to get to Rome.
Can you explain this further?
Well, there's many types of UFOs, of spacecrafts or just crafts that we could build. And by working with a strong magnetic fields to really cause the effect of levitation, that's one thing, but the effect to attract yourself towards the moon, or using the magnetic field of the Earth to control the spacecraft in the air, I presume will take a lot of testing and a lot of magnetism and energy to create it. Now, it's been thought in plasma that all the energy is there, but, you know, in the testing so far and all that, I like to go with the testing, not what other people say directly. The tests haven't shown that, but the tests show on the more materialist aspect of all the scientists that I've worked on this and let information out. Because we got to really keep in mind that there's people out there that are driving these spacecrafts. They're living in the environment that comes with this technology. We're not talking about a few individuals. We're talking about millions of people on Earth that have access to these technologies, and secret sects and secret groups, and name it. We have cities upon cities underground right now that are living in a reality that is 1,000 years ours. Now they're popping up because of certain circumstance. They're showing that they're offering the world. Then we can't just turn our backs to them, like we can't turn our backs to any being in the universe. So we got to deal with it. But we got to be conscious of what's going on. Let's say, for example, the governments. They all have groups underground, like figure of speech. They all have technologies that they're not sharing totally. Well, these technologies, you know, there's people working on this. There's thousands of people working on this. Hundreds of thousands of people are working on this. An underground basis, just monitoring everything and blah, 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 having no, you know. So our own government is like that. It's who knows who they all are, who really knows who controls this and that. And there's groups that are separated, that they've done their own basis. They've done their own inner world where nobody can touch them and they do what they want. They have the technology. Once you have the technology, you can choose pretty much any shape, form. That's what's been taught to us by Mr. Keshe. You could change your form, go to another planet. Now, if you really think about what that means of living in a society that's able to do that, then you'll come to terms in realizing what's going on Earth. These guys are popping up. We're not just talking about one individual. We're talking about different individuals that are popping up and complaining and saying stuff that we've never heard before. Why? Because it's so advanced that we haven't even begun thinking about them. Now, knowing about a UFO and really knowing about UFO and living in that reality of it is two different things. Having to interact on the 4th and 5th density and 6th, and 7th and 8th, it's all completely other realities upon realities. They're all coupled in one. And they say there's no more secrets. It's true.
Stefan, we are running out of time, so I just want to ask Crystal to come up and close the 2 hours physics meeting. But I just want to ask, we're still 14 people here, or 13 participants, and I just want to ask something, no? To know the opinion of all of you, if you want to participate, you know, before we close the meeting, is how do you regard plasma from the point, not plasma, spirituality from the point of view of the plasma energy? So meaning spirituality, meaning as the power to make us happy or fulfilling sort of being, so needing basically nothing from the external world, and being, you know, like really autosufficient, you know, for oneself, or, you know, sort of fulfillment. So how do you regard this from the point of view of the plasma energy? Because I have a sort of a theory, and I would like to know some other point of view, and try to see if we can make a link between these two. So anyone wants to respond to my question?
Well, personally, I would love to hear what you have to say, and yes, I would love it, because my past months have been more focused on thinking of all these things, and I'm just on a logical level, you know, so it shouldn't be too difficult to understand. And so please share.
So, okay, my point of view is that when I was reading the Keshe book, the first one, you know, I understood plasma from different fields that goes in a magnetic way, and when sort of one field finds out another one which is of the same magnitude, then they click up, and they start the formation of the first plasma unity, as I understood. You see, and this happens every day, you know. When, for instance, when we were 10 years old or something like this, we were walking on the street and we see a beautiful lady or beautiful man or something like this, and then we click, and then we smile, and then we start to talk. So it's you know, our basic nature, it works also like that, no? So what is happening is the different magnitudes of the different spheres of consciousness and emotions is bringing up different experiences to our world, and this is what we call whether materialism or spiritualism, because materialism means that you need to be fortified or how to call supported by material according to be secure, you know. The other way around is the spirituality, when you feel so fulfilled that you feel that nothing else is needed at that time, and then you can even put your experience or your emotion in a way of a very good feeling of kindness or loving kindness to others, in a way of doing things with your body, with your mind, to fulfill other wishes or to free or liberate other beings. No? So that is emanation time, the way you really magnetically issue your strength or power. Okay, so and then the other way around is when you are so much, let's say, gravitational, and you need so much material to get your security, you know, sort of secure life or something like this, no? So this equilibrium or balance is something, spirituality and materialism, that I see from the point of view of the plasma, as Mr. Keshe expressed, no? So I think when you do something, or you issue a thought or make some work or actions, whatever, they are a magnetical force. They go around the universes or universal universes, and they come back as a form of a karma, what we call karma. So then you have to experience, likewise, what you have issued as a thought or as a sort of shot or picture of experience from your interpretation, then comes back in another way so that you can have the full picture at the end. No? So this is like sending a thought or sending an action to the universe, and then when the action does, like the planets or the movements of the stars, they come back, to you in a form of experience. I don't know if I'm explaining myself well, no, but this is the way I see. No, I can start to think how spirituality works in a sense of karma. Karma is seen from the point of view of McGrath systems. I don't know if I have explained myself well.
Yes, I think it's important to note that because I've been in these fields for now about 9 to 10 months and pretty intensively, and if I think about it, and when I think about it, it took a long time to come to this conclusion because of just how the fields of plasma functions, and it does interact with our fields, and we do feel better, and then the next thing we know, we're thinking better, and then when we're thinking better, we're all more open to everybody else. So it brings us to that place where we're supposed to be. Because the way it's been explained to me is that we are fifth density beings. And the only reason why we're not all already in fifth density is because we haven't been thought that it existed, and we've been suppressed the information to get our consciousness to realize how the universe works, like on a more plasmatic level, on field interactions, field exchanges. And now through these, we're already getting, we're surviving on eating food, and we're doing these processes. But spirituality, to me, is the same thing, but when you really go to source energy, then it's not the same energy you're working with. It is as if all these different fields of plasma are the mechanism that the source energy utilizes to create our universe. So that's why it's a fundamental part of the structure of our universe, because but it's not the field that's on top of it, or the source energy that is manifesting all these fields. So plasma is like the other step of knowledge, the other step that brings us with the philosophy of field interaction, field exchanges, field potentials, creating magnetism and gravitational energy to create matter, to attract matter in. So all this philosophy brings us to a better understanding towards the truth. It brings us to the fifth density, where the nature right now is pushing us towards that direction. Now others has put themselves a line, but when people think it comes directly from that, but it doesn't. That's just part of it. That's a part of something that is emerging at the same time. So it's important to note that when you go into meditation, it's not cultivation plasma that you're cultivating. It's another source that can manifest in much, much greater spheres or dimensions and densities. The density is the key word.
I think so, density.
Because of the density of gong energy compared to plasma is not the same. It's comparing water and microwave. Microwave can do a lot of damage, but it ain't gonna push like water. water pushes. So Gong has the ability to push, to be water in all densities. It is the water, like the universe. And we're not talking about Chi. Chi will be like more of a balancing of the plasmatic fields within the body that creates the aura around the body. Gong will be the energy that's manifested through that bigger torus will create another energy field. So when you become the torus, then you're like a good Qigong master, and you feel good, and your heart, everything's aligned. And then when you're there and you cultivate from that place, another energy arises. To me or to others, it seems like source because it's so powerful. It's so able to be matter state and any other density.
I'm going to jump in.
Yes.
Basically, let's see if I can get it lined up. What we're talking about when we realized that we didn't know anything about energy or about frequencies, because before the oscilloscope, we saw nothing. Okay, that's two dimension. We ended up, or one dimension. We ended up putting light, sound, radio waves, and stuff into oscilloscope, and we ended up with this pattern of sine wave. It's just an illusion because it's a representative on a two-dimensional screen of a three-dimensional item. Your frequencies are basically spirals that go. Yes. And when you have one frequency interacting with another frequency, they're either out of phase or move to be in phase. When we get into phase, we end up with harmonics that are larger than either of the two separately. Now, we're only traveling, let's say, in one direction, let's say west, with this example in a spiral cone. We bring in another set of frequencies, but instead of having them in line, going west, further west with this, we turn it 90 degrees. My paper also. Anyway, so one intersects the other, crosshatch. In stereo, we use this to create surround sound. It gives you another dimension of the effect, to where the interaction, let's see if I get it in there. The interaction is more in that direction. So we've increased in a spherical rather than just straight amplification. The more fields that you interact in different directions gives a different reaction in your perspective. Your body is an electromagnetic field. It's basically interpreting energy levels, vibrations all the way around you. Some of them are perceived as a solid, and others are perceived as sound and as light. And so what we need to take a look at is when we walk into a plasma field, what is the perception? Is it giving us an opportunity to take and interact these fields in a different angle? Does it open up a portal? Does it open up a dimension? Does it open up a new matter state in something that gives us something completely different than what we saw before? It is the reaction, it's the interaction of these vibrations in the plasma fields that changes the reality and our understanding of our world around us. Okay?
That's what. Yes, very well explained.
Wow, very well explained. Congrats.
Scientific level, yes. Very, very nice.
Okay, so Crystal, do you want to come up for the closing of the meeting?
I'm here, bro. I'm here. All right. I must say, this is a very interesting meeting. It's so well-rounded. It's so balanced. We have our thinkers, our scientists, our developers, our designers, and our awakened ones as well, our illumined ones here today. And everything is so balanced with the philosophical side of things, metaphysics, quantum physics, with the science and the spirituality, all bolt up into one meeting. And thank you so much for putting so many angles here in the mix of a balanced meeting that we had today. And I would like to thank so much Fred and Stefan, Mike, Whitney, and the others who had question or two that brings forth a very interesting mix in this meeting. And thank you, Kiki, for chairing the second half of this meeting. You're superb. Right, and I would like to go around the table. For those who had not spoken, will be given a chance to have a voice here. Hey, James, you know what? Stefan is one of your newest fans. He told me on, sorry, Stefan. He told me on the chat room in Facebook that he's amazed with all the videos that you're producing. You're just about one of the most knowledgeable person on the planet when it comes to our ET brothers and sisters. James, probably we will have you for the next meeting that you could expound upon how plasma energy is in the mix of things where the ETs are concerned. How's that, James? Don't you think that makes a good topic for discussion next meeting?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And next meeting, James, you will be chairing the meeting with Fred, yeah? Next meeting. Okay. All right. I won't be around. I'm on holiday. Fred and you will be taking off the show on your own shoulders. Right. James, you want to say a few words? And then we go
Sure. So with help with Stefan, I've been modifying my Q24 so it wouldn't melt down. Catastrophic fire. So this one, I've nano-coated it, and I've also added GONS. Hopefully someone out there is not listening to this, but I'm going to put the paper on it. I've got some special oven-safe paper that won't burn. Well, it won't burn with this. And then I'm going to put hopefully start making some free energy. I've also started making. I'm making some GONS. I've just got some 24 karat gold, and with help of Stefan, I've got some carbon plates. And I'm going to do that because I think it's so much easier to just use the carbon plates than just have to go through the process of nano coating copper with lye on top of that. It's just, I mean, it takes 3 days to do, and sometimes doesn't turn out that well, and it's messy. It's also kind of pricey, but I guess carbon plates kind of pricey too. But anyway, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also working on some certain formulas that might help out as well. More information in the future when that's ready.
Wonderful, James. Thank you. Hey, to help you, brothers and sisters here in this meeting room, interact with each other, would you please write down your email addresses in the chat room so we can communicate with each other? And especially me, then I could email you as well invitations for the next meeting, the next meeting, the next meeting. How's that? Okay, please write your email addresses on the chat room. And I think each and every one of you, if you don't have time to copy down the email addresses, you could just click the save button and it's saved in your hard disk. All right. Okay. And I would like to thank Whitney as well, you know, for doing the work and spreading the word with her traveling workshop with Carrie. It's so delightful to follow. It's amazing how you got your participants for your workshop, but you did it and you do it so well. You're some of the most hardworking people I've seen. Carrie, on that score, Whitney had spoken, but I think we go around to those who hadn't spoken. Carrie, would you like to say a few words, because you are a star when it comes to churning out those video interviews? Are you there, Carrie? Is Carrie here with us? Has she gone off? Whitney? She's in the cafe with you.
Yes, we're sorry about that. Hold on, she's logging on.
Right. Carrie, I love your interviews. You have a common friend with me, Sasha. He's amazing.
No, I know. Yeah.
Hi, Carrie.
Hello. What are you guys asking? Sorry, we're in a little coffee shop here, and it was just, I had so much coming in, I needed to log off for a little bit, but I'd love to share. I kind of listened to quite a bit of you guys and then just needed a little sound break. But what would you like me to share about just the journey?
I just want you to say, just in a short minute about whatever you want to say, because there being no other business, I have to close the meeting and adjourn the next meeting to the next meeting.
Okay.
So I'm just going around the table so everyone has a chance to speak.
Oh, I'll just tell you really quick. I'm going to make a show today on it with a bunch of pictures. But one of the things they talk about when we are creating a big plasmatic field or an intense plasmatic field is bolts of light and even lights that come through as prisms. And on my drive here, I had amazing experiences with that because I had a lot of plasmatic devices in my vehicle. And I went through one valley where there were like at least 30 rainbows. And I felt like they were being activated by the plasmatic field. And I had also just dropped GANs off from Standing Rock. So
taken photographs, can you share on Facebook?
Yeah, so I took a lot of pictures, and I'm going to produce a show this afternoon and put those in it because it's amazing. And then also after the first workshop we taught, we had just this huge thunder and lightning storm that was overhead that night. So anyway, just exciting things like that of, you know, experiencing plasmatic energy because of what we're doing, which is wonderful.
Oh, on that score, you reminded me of a guy who posted a picture of the forest. He's actually did a short little video clip and where the rainbow lights bing, you know, all around the forest around. I think I'll share it on Facebook and be on the lookout. It's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, my video will be posted probably by tonight. We've still got to produce it and everything, but I made a whole slideshow yesterday with all this in it, so it's really cool.
Wonderful. And
thank you.
Of your journeys, okay? And
thank you. And thank you all for everything you're doing too. So much love.
Oh, thank you so much, love to you too. Thank you.
Thanks so much, love.
Yeah, and we'll move on to Alice. Alice, you have got anything to say very quickly? Thank you, Carrie. Alice, are you there? Okay, I've unmuted you. Go on, speak up. Okay, we move on to the next one because time is a constraint. If we can't hear you, Alice, we move on to the next one. Christian, I unmuted you. Would you like to say a few words before we close the meeting?
Oh.
Hello. Yes, Christian, welcome to Physique. We hadn't seen you before.
Oh, hello. Hello, my dears. Thank you to have a chance to maybe show you a device I made. Small one, glass pipes, 3 pieces. They are containers.
Beautiful.
They are containers like it can be filled with GANs, and I try to make like magnetic the infinity connections. It can be held in the hand, and I feel without the GANs inside. I feel a tingling in the hand. Same I have from the health pens. Maybe I have no good camera to show, but I have to go very near. You see, there are three pipes fitted in together. This is one thing, and one very nice thing I made to put it on the head. Just a plastic tube filled with shungite,
wow.
CO2 GANs, and crystal quartz powder, and some granite powder. I thought on the brain there is electrical, iron crystals, and the granite is having a lot of iron inside. And yesterday I met a friend of mine, and she had some headache, and I had this with me all the time. I had it on my head, and I asked her if she want to try, and she fit it on her head, And within 3 minutes, she told, my headache is gone. So I was surprised maybe to make some more of this device, because it's easily to have a present for somebody. For headache, migraine, and like, I only took CO2 plasma water, shungite powder, granite powder, and quartz crystal powder. So I love you so much. You are great to share all the light we have to install now. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Kiki,
so much,
I love you
Christy.
too.
Lovely. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your device. It's beautiful.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you. And next we go to Ron. Ron, you're next, Ron. Come on. I unmuted you now, Ron. Would you like to speak, Ron? Oh, sorry, Ron. You did say before that you couldn't. You don't have a microphone, right? Or do you have it this time? Okay, we go back to Alice. Alice, are you ready to speak? Okay, right. So that's it. Anybody else wants to speak before we close, even though you've spoken before? The rest of us have spoken. We just want to get to know you. That's it. Yes?
I'm going to do a real quick ideas for schematics. In the past, we've, let's see if we get, oh, we're showing it, okay. Our capacitors, some people draw them on the paper like this to show the outside copper ring and then the inner wire going to it. This is not a bad idea. In the electrical engineering, they actually show them as a gap. This is when you look at electric schematics, they're done that way. I would like for our plasma people to consider doing it a little more like so, in that you can then see the direction of plasma flow with how you arrange your capacitors. And I'm going to leave you with that idea, and through this method you can start drawing out how your capacitors are going to be lined up in your systems on paper before you even put them together. Those square boxes on the lines gives you kind of like little arrows. Okay?
You have also the direction on the regular one. There's always a small line and a big line. The big line is the direction where it's going.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The two of you are brilliant. Really love what you share. All right, there, graphene. On that score of Stefan, you have been experimenting with graphene ever since I pointed that out, that is one material of the future. And Fred is also looking into buying some graphene to mess around with. So next meeting, we hope that you will be able to come up with some amazing findings. And also, James will be doing his ET connection with plasma energy. So that will be in the agenda for the next meeting. How's that, brothers and sisters? All right. So, I was on Open House London. That was only once a year that we have that. Sorry. Okay, Stefan, you going to say something?
Yeah, I got some carbon products to talk about next time. Carbon paint, graphene single layer. Yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done to apply it.
Okay, so we've talked
What
about
is the benefit of using graphene?
The graphene single layer, has properties that are like incredible. You can even turn things like invisible with graphene.
And you can make your own graphene coating instead of nano coating. I posted a YouTube link on that one. Look out from my Facebook. Okay, all right. I think Stefan has it as well. The video links, because it's made from the same people. The video on graphene, making your own graphene coating. Right. So there being no other business, so I was going to talk about the Open House London. Okay, now while you guys are tinkering around with the experiments and all that on the application of plasma energy, I was my business self traipsing around London on the open house weekend, I've been visiting a lot of buildings that for the only weekend in the whole year is open to the public and to open to those who apply to get in some of those important buildings. Like, what fascinated me most is number 5 Pancras Road in King's Cross, St. Pancras, near there, the station, under the County of Camden. They have a building that has won the highest BREEAM rating award in London, or possibly in the country. That means they are sustainable, free energy, whatever that is for the future. They've got it in the BREEAM rating. And it's very interesting. I intend to, because the weekend just passed, and I intend to dig my fingers there and find out what they did to have that highest award of the BREEAM rating, okay, sustainable, eco-friendly, and all that, you know, green energy. So I will find out and I will report, okay? And thank you so much, brothers and sisters. There being no other business, this meeting is now adjourned to the 5th of October, with Press and James will be chairing in my absence. And thank you so much all. Thank you, Kiki, for chairing the meeting. And bye for now, and love you all.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't
Bye.
forget to write your email address on the chat, okay?
Me?
No, all those who hadn't had their email addresses submitted to Physique for invitation for meetings and reports and all that. Now, when you receive an invitation from Physique, it has the report embedded in the email as well, so you'll be fine. Otherwise, go to Physique's website, www.truevisionofpeace.com/physique.html. Okay? Thank you very much, folks. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Love you all. Bye.